If your makeup only looks good with artificial lighting but doesn't look as good with natural lighting, then you're doing something wrong. Let's fix that.
Makeup has rules, and the first step in every makeup application is cleansing. I use the Blossom Micellar water. This helps break down sweat, oils and dirt. It's also good for taking off makeup, but I used it to clean her face to start the process. Then I used the Flawless IV Hydrating Mist to hydrate her face, and I used a fan to dry that down so it really sinks into her skin. Next up is moisturizer. This is the moisturizer from Adventure Makeup. This moisturizer, very affordable, very good. It really does the job. I think it costs less than 5,000 naira. Yeah, it's really amazing. I recommend it. Now you're going to see me going with a fan again so I can let that get into her skin properly. I used a hydrating primer. This one is from Blossom Makeup. I really wanted to feed her skin with hydration, so I used a lot of hydrating products. I used a brush to really work this into her skin. Take note of all the parts of her face I used this on. I used this everywhere except her under eyes because I wanted to really leave that bare. And then I tried out on again with a fan. Remember, dry down after every step. I'm going in with another product from Adventure Makeup. This is their mattifying primer, and I focus this only on the T-zones, which is her forehead, bridge of her nose and her chin. This primer is under 5,000 naira. Adventure Makeup really deserves the flowers because they constantly give us budget-friendly products that are amazing. You don't have to break the bank. Now I'm gonna use the Kiss Beauty spray to lock all of that in so we can get started proper. We're jumping straight into foundation application, and foundation of choice was V Beauty. I worked with V Beauty in Milkshake 2 and Kenya. I used a flat foundation brush to spread that out on her face so I could then go in with my beauty blender to blend that out. Now I'd advise that you do it this way because going in with a beauty blender directly soaks up more product than you really need. So if you're gonna do it this way, fine. Otherwise, just go in with a foundation brush. The important thing in foundation application is getting shade match correctly. You want to focus on the skin tone and the undertone of the client on your seat, because you don't want to do a beautiful makeup but it's looking off. So the face looks different, the body looks different, the neck looks different. So you're gonna really want to take your time in foundation selection. Now I'm gonna lock all of that in using the green tea spray from Kiss Beauty. I used the Bicham Ageless Lip Palette as my blush. I just picked up some really cute pinkish shades just to add more warmth. That was why I selected this color. Used a brush first and then used my beauty blender. So you see the same thing happens. Now I used concealers from Blossom Makeup. These are the Blossom Spotless Concealers, and these concealers are super creamy. They blend easily. They don't dry quickly. Like, you can leave this on your under eye, go and do other things and get back and it's still gonna blend very, very easily. Amazing product. This is 10 out of 10, like undeniably good. Now you're gonna notice that I used a shade that has a yellowish undertone that is kind of darker, and then I used a lighter one, which is this one I'm using currently. That was because I didn't want to go off immediately with a brighter concealer. I wanted to give it like a base, which is why I did it this way. And I just blended that out, get it really in. You want to blend, but you don't want to blend too much, so you're gonna just make what you want to achieve disappear, if that makes sense. Now I set the under eye with the Flawless IV setting powders. I'm gonna put like a picture of the two shades. I think I used Milkshake and Banana. Are those the names? I'm not sure. I'm gonna find it out. Now we're jumping onto face powder. I worked with the powder palette from Bicham Ageless. This powder palette is full coverage. It is sweat proof. It is beautiful. It is smooth. You can use this for full face powder, you can use it for contouring, you can use it for highlighting, you can use it to set your under eyes. Amazing. Like, every makeup artist should have the Beecham Ageless powder palette. Now I'm going on with contouring using a darker shade from the same powder palette, just to bring back some warmth, because before the face looked kind of like bright everywhere, so you want to really contour it, so you bring back some shadows. I think I also worked with a dark shade from the V Beauty Girls Night Out 2 palette. I did it just to bring back some shadows and also snatch the face a little bit, and I used my powder brush with nothing more on it to really blend that out. While going on to eyes, I used the eyeshadow base from Beecham Ageless and then used the V Beauty Girls Night Out 2 palette for my eyes. I used it to start off the eyeshadow work, just to enjoy this process and take note of the shades that I used. If you look closely, you'd see that I've switched to a different eyeshadow palette. This is the Zaron Smudged palette, and I just use it to smoke out the outer corner of her eyes. I use just browns and a black shade to just do that. Then I wasn't very satisfied with the eyeshadow work. Don't blame me, it happens to the best of us, and I just put a very light shimmer shade, but it's still very similar to what was already on the eyelids. And we're jumping straight into brows. Let me be quiet so you can watch this, because this is full brow tutorial. If you want me to drop this separately, let me know and I'm gonna post it for you as well.
Turns out I'm the star of the show. Spotlight on me, watch me glow. Move your body, take it slow. One more time, let the rhythm flow. Look at me, they say fancy in the VIP. 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 I'm a player, baby, not a hater, baby. See you later, elevate your top floor. One more, see you dancing, I adore. Look at me, they say fancy in the VIP. Bottles are sparking, lighting up the dark, making a memory, leaving a mark.
My lines were not as straight as I would have liked them to be, so I used the concealer to really clean it out. But I used very little concealer because I already did on the eyeshadow, and then I just blended that out, and I used a setting powder to mattify that area back before going into draw her waterline. I used the Deckled Black Gel Liner, and I used take a note of the shades. That's what I used to smudge out the eyes. I'm doing that again, and then I did the lifted eye technique with a bit of setting powder. Mascara time. This mascara, very cheap, but this mascara takes quite some time to dry, so you want to let your client leave her eyes closed for some time, else it's going to transfer. You're going to see that I made a little mess there, but nothing too crazy. I've popped the lashes. I didn't film that, and I'm jumping straight to the lips using the Beecham Ageless lip palette. This lip palette is a must-have. Honestly, when you learn how to use it, you're gonna really appreciate it, especially since it has a wide shade range, so you're gonna be saving a lot of money on getting different lip stains. You're gonna get a lot of shades in one palette. I did the lips and I glossed it, and I went back to dust off the excess setting powder. Basically pressed it in using a powder that is close to her shade, so she doesn't have flashbacks. We're almost done. We're gonna finish up with blush application. The look is not complete if you've not done blush, you guys. Okay, and I might have a little bit of blush blindness. I don't know what changed because I wasn't really a blush person last year, but I think I'm really loving the V Beauty blush palette, so I'm really experimenting and trying out different colors of blush. But yeah, I just did something very subtle, and then I used the Flawless Ivy Stay On Matte Spray. I got this because of the hype. The hype got to me. Yeah, you guys didn't lie. This is amazing. It really holds makeup on for long. And this is the finished look. Let me know what you think in the comment section.